everyone, it's Prime. It's time to take a look at the exercises in this month's flex workout. So because it is Muscle May and the Muscle May Challenge, we are going to be focusing on some glamour muscles that we don't always pay a lot of attention to. Specifically in this, we're working on our deltoids, which is this cap of our shoulder, and then our arms, our biceps and triceps. So let's do it. All right, so the first exercise in flex is the dumbbell seated shoulder press. So you're gonna sit down and you're gonna need a dumbbell for each hand. Again, just like with all of the exercises in the Muscle May Challenge, it is better to start with lighter resistance than you think you need and move up than to do too much, because you're gonna be cheating and we don't want that with our form. So remember, lots of volume means less weight. So you're gonna pick these up and bring them up to your shoulders. There are a couple ways that you can do this. You can have your palms facing inward and press straight up overhead like this, which if you have wonky shoulders will probably feel the best. Okay, you can also turn them a little so they're kind of at a 45-degree angle and press up like this, which also will probably feel okay if you have not so great shoulders. This specific angle will work into your deltoids a lot more, so if you can manage this one, I would do it. And then your last angle is all the way out, palms facing forward, straight up overhead. This one also really works your deltoids, but can be a lot harder on your shoulder if you do not have very good ones, okay? So you're gonna pick whichever grip and orientation works best for you, complete all of the sets and reps, and then move on to exercise number 2. The next exercise is the dumbbell lateral raise. You can do it standing up and that will actually make it a little bit easier, but I'm gonna do it on my knees just because I didn't want to move the camera because I'm lazy. So a lateral raise is lifting your arms out to the side. A few notes I'm gonna give you about this exercise. Number 1, again, light weights are better. So these are 5-pound weights and they're probably gonna be enough for this. Number 2, you'll notice that my elbows are bent slightly. I'm not coming straight out to the side. I certainly can, but it's really rough on my shoulder. So I'm gonna kind of get like gorilla arms first, and then I'm going to lift out to the side. It's also really important to lead with your elbows first and not with your hands. See the difference? Leading with my hands will really fuck up my shoulders too. You want to lift all the way to the top, and when you get to this point, you should kind of feel your shoulder blades squeezing together in the back. You definitely want to feel it in the cap of your shoulder. You might also feel it through these kind of bigger muscles in your back and in between your shoulder blades, and those are all good signs. You don't pick it up, gorilla arms, lead with your elbows, exhale on the exertion, and make sure that at the top you're letting your shoulder blades squeeze together. So you'll kind of open out just a little bit like you're hugging a big stability ball, okay? You're gonna do all the sets and reps for that exercise and then move on to exercise number 3. The next exercise is gonna be a lying reverse fly. So we're gonna kind of be opening up backwards in a T, not up like the exercise we just did, but opening out. So there are machines that you can do this on as well. I think the video in the app shows you like lying straight down on your face, like all the way prone. I'm gonna do it at an incline because it's a little bit more shoulder friendly. So if you can have an incline bench, this is a little bit awkward, but totally worth it in the long run. You're gonna straddle it and lay down with your chest on the incline. Let your arms kind of relax down here. It's very similar to the lateral raise in that we're gonna kind of gorilla our arms out and lead with our elbows and then really squeeze our shoulder blades at the top. And you should notice, if you're doing it correctly, that when you're at the top, you kind of want your chest to come up off the bench just a little bit. Not because you're arching through your back, but because when you squeeze your shoulder blades together, you curve through your upper spine and it lifts you up. You don't want to crank your head back when that happens, so keep your neck nice and straight. But you'll notice when I get to the top, just by virtue of squeezing my shoulder blades together, I pop up off the bench just a little, and that's a good sign. So make sure that that is happening. So this exercise is probably the lightest weight exercise you'll do, except for body weight ones. Those little green ones I was holding are 3 pounds, and that will be plenty for me. So once you're done with that, you're going to move on to exercise number 4. All right, so the next exercise is gonna focus on the triceps. I'll put my weights down on either side, and you'll need a foam roller, a long one, if you can find it, because you're gonna want it to support you all the way from the back of your head to your tailbone. So we're gonna lay this down on the ground and get onto it, which is kind of the hardest part. So lay back on it, kind of glute bridge up, and then wiggle your way all the way onto it. The reason why we're using the foam roller is to remind us to keep our shoulders back and down and wrapped around the foam roller, because it's really common when we're working on triceps and biceps to get your shoulder involved, and we don't want that. Pressure starts with your arms extended at the top. My goal here is to keep my upper arm from my shoulder to my elbow completely still and only hinge from my elbow down towards my temple. Okay, so my elbows are still stacked above my shoulders. My upper arms haven't moved at all. And then I'm going to extend back to top and squeeze through the triceps as I do it. You may find that you have to roll your shoulder blades away from your ears a little bit more if you're starting to feel it in your trap, which is what I just did, and that feels a lot better. Again, this is a really lightweight exercise. And what we don't want to see is like this, where your elbows are now drifting up, pointing toward the floor, and then you're using your lats to pull them up. Upper arms nice and still, only moving the elbows as best you can. The dumbbell should stay squeezed in nice and close to your head. You don't want your elbows coming out at all. And you're going to complete all of the sets and reps. And then you're going to do the last exercise. That was really graceful rolling off the foam roller. You're going to do the last exercise, which is going to be focused on the opposing muscle, which is your bicep. So now that your triceps are nice and tired, we're going to work on the biceps, which is the front of the arm. We really want to make sure that we're focusing on like flexing at the top of this movement. So really squeezing that hard and not getting our shoulders involved. So this is an incline dumbbell curl, which means you're going to find an incline bench. My incline is at about 30 degrees. You lower the incline, so this is a pretty low incline, the more challenging it's going to be. Bring them down and let them hang. Just like with the tricep skull crusher, I want to make sure that my shoulder blades are back and down and that my chest is kind of proud off the bench a little bit. And then I'm going to focus on contracting that bicep, moving only at the elbow, not allowing my shoulders to swing, and keeping my elbows pretty close to the bench. It's also important that you want to come all the way down and kind of fully relax at the bottom, rather than kind of stopping halfway and then coming back up. So come all the way down, make sure everything's in the right place, squeeze up. So complete all the sets and reps of that. The bicep is a little bit stronger in general than the tricep, so you can use more weight there. Just play it by ear, right? Start light and add more weight if you feel like that's something that you want to do. Remember that we're not necessarily building strength here, although that will be a side effect of doing this. We're trying to build muscle mass, and so it's about doing more reps at lower weight than doing a lot of weight and fewer reps. So keep that in mind. So that is flex, and I hope you enjoyed your workout.